Welcome to Friday Night Likes. My name is Chris Webb, and in this show I review toy photography from around the web so you can learn how to improve your skills in composition, lighting, posing, scene building, and more. Okay, got some good shots this week. It always starts the same. I have a process I go through. I scroll through loads and loads of photos and I think, is this going to be the week I don't find anything special? And then bang, 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 they all come at once. And I'm like, wow, amazing shots. New people to feature. It's good. It's exciting. It inspires me, makes me feel good about this little hobby of ours. So first up, Omega Red. Reason I've picked this great shot is because of what Mr. Omega Red has done with the explosion effects here. I've seen loads of shots where people use kind of plastic blast effects that you get with various toys. I've got a bunch of them with Hasbro's smaller Star Wars figures and, you know, things like blasters bouncing off lightsabers, and there's just these sort of plastic things that have a spark effect. I don't think they look that good in photography, but what's great about this photo is the way he shot this by keeping hand in focus and keeping the stormtrooper in the foreground out of focus. By keeping that blast effect out of focus, it looks real. It looks believable. It doesn't look as fake and like it's just a lump of plastic stuck onto the stormtrooper's chest. He's obviously added some light effects. You can see just off the back of the blaster there, that's lit up red, maybe an LED, but clearly he's dumping a lot of red light to illuminate that and bring it up, and it works really, really nicely. So yeah, this is a good example of what you can do with effects and not necessarily having stuff in focus. Something I've touched on before, where things can get more believable if you shift them out of focus. So by stopping down his aperture, I'm guessing this is about f5.6, maybe a little bit lower on the camera. That puts Stormy out of focus, and then bang, you get this effect. Next one, Wonderbunk. I love this. So I'm guessing this is just a matchstick that our little friend here is holding. But look what he's done with the lighting. So he's got this amazing rim lighting that's going on in this kind of cave corridor effect. And what it's doing is it's using the light to frame the scene. It spills all around this corridor that he's standing in, and of course spills onto the character itself. Looks absolutely fantastic. Framing done with light, very, very rarely seen and very, very rarely done well. But this is the kind of thing you can do. It's not just about lighting your subjects. It's also thinking about how light affects the scene. This comes on to the topic of motivated lighting and whether the light in your scene makes sense. So if I'm a guessing man, I would guess there's probably other lights in this scene you're not seeing. I don't think, I may be wrong, but I don't think that matchstick is solely responsible for all the light going on the character and everything else, because you're going to need a longer aperture for all this light to come up just off a match, and a match is going to burn very, very quickly. You can see there's a bit of blur on the flame, so clearly the shutter speed's been a little bit longer than you do with a bulb. But I don't know, just because of the quantity of light that's coming all the way down here, the light on the background, the way that spills, I reckon there's other lights concealed around the frame that are lighting up the scene more. So really, really nice, delicate piece of work. Good one to study and learn from. Next one, this is by Batset. I should have given credit, actually, sorry. Oh, I did give credit. Wonderbunk, Patrick is that great Zelda shot. So this one is by Batset, Cedric Bacon over at Articulated Comic Book Art. I'm showing the photo on ACBA's account because Cedric hasn't actually uploaded it, or he hasn't at the time of recording this photo on his own account, which is Bat said on Instagram, this is a great example of motion done right. So you got two cars here, and it's all about this background because the background's blurring, and because of that, it makes you believe the vehicles are moving. Robin's cape there, flying in the wind, right direction. Bat's cape, flying in the wind, all done very, very well. A very, very smart decision in this was to conceal the tyres, because I suspect these cars are just sat on a tabletop, whatever. Your background there, whatever that is, whether it's a printout, monitor, I don't know. Whether he's actually got a printout of something static and is literally pulling it with his hand as he's taking the shot, I don't know, but it works. By keeping the tyres out of the shot, what that will do is stop you focusing on the fact that the tyres aren't spinning around, which is a very hard trick to pull off, because obviously if the tyres were in shot, you'd expect to see a similar kind of motion blur around the spokes of the tyres spinning. So by doing that and sort of making that decision to crop around there, it makes it all very, very believable. So, I mean, obviously the viewpoint of this is another car that's traveling, or another vehicle that's traveling the same speed as these vehicles. Thus, that gives the blur to the background. The alternative is a shot where you keep the background static and you keep the cars moving and thus blurring, which is obviously going to be harder because then, you know, your shot's not in focus. Your subjects aren't in focus if your subjects are in the vehicles. But this is a very nice, simple way to do this and give this illusion that there's some movement, some stuff going on. You know, little things like paying attention to the capes sells this and makes it all work very, very well. So great shot. Really like this. Next one, Photography. Another artist I'd never seen before this week. Look at this. Wow. This is just amazing. So I think you've got some Photoshop work going on as well as the photography of the figures and the set, but a great example of me not being able to tell where reality stops and Photoshop begins. I mean, you know, the gum effects are pretty clearly Photoshop. I'm guessing the blood coming out of this guy's neck is Photoshop. I can't tell whether these guys are posed in scene or whether they're composited on. I can't tell whether there are stands and things that would hold these guys in place, which have been Photoshopped out. It's just really, really nicely done. You've got this smoke and haze going through the scene. It all integrates very, very well. Beautifully lit. Lovely, lovely lighting on this. Really, really like this. This is a great piece of work. It looks real. I mean, it looks a lot more real than a lot of other shots I've seen lately. So yeah, hats off. Nice work. Last one for this week is by the One Cam, who was featured in the first ever episode of the show. I'm really trying not to feature the same artists more than once, but by God, look at this. There's so much going on in this. I don't know where to start. I mean, the main thing is just the composition and movement through this. I don't even know what to call it. Apologies. I'm clearly not a martial arts expert, but this baton on a rope that Daredevil's throwing. I mean, look at the work he's done with this in the background in terms of the curves. I'm guessing this is some kind of wire that's fixed in place and holds that kind of shape. And then a similar kind of thing going on with this guy. And again, I'm not exactly sure what these are, but these lines, these beautiful lines, draw your eye through the scene. So you got the vanishing point from the diorama here. So he's got a diorama. You know, look at it. Even the windows, there's a fire inside. He's got that coming through, creating some separation between the diorama and these guys. He's got a kind of red light going on this side, a blue light going on this side, which sells the fact that these windows would spill that light over. The night sky would have that cooler, bluer tone. And then all those lines draw you towards Daredevil there. The line of this baton he's throwing. This line coming through here arcs around and gets him completely kind of as a focal point. I'm not sure what he's used up the back there, whether that's a printout or monitor, but just adds a little bit more to the scene in terms of making it believable. The smoke up there, creating some more separation between these characters in the background. Just a stunning piece of work. It's so well lit. The color composition is brilliant. This is a really, really good one. Yeah, this takes a lot of practice. This takes a lot of effort. You get these kind of results if you spend a very, very long time working on this craft. Great one to finish on this week. So that's pretty much it. We'll be back, same time, same place, next week. Head to ToyShooter.com to join our newsletter and get my free guide to toy photography. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel on YouTube using the link below. When you subscribe, look for this option to be notified whenever we upload new tutorials. Otherwise, videos will probably get lost in your feed here on YouTube. To see my work on Instagram, you can follow our account at instagram.com/WeShootToys, where you'll also find some exclusive behind-the-scenes videos. You can also get regular news and updates from our Facebook page at facebook.com/ToyShooter. As with YouTube, you can get notified whenever I upload news or photos by clicking on that like button arrow, then selecting all notifications. You can always change this later if I'm posting more cool stuff than you can handle. Here are all those links again. See you next time.